Party Center Speaks podcast. This is the podcast for family entertainment center and event venue owners, operators, managers, and staffers looking to grow their business. Want to learn about how you can increase party bookings, improve facility operations, and more? This podcast is for you. My name is Araceli Balcazar, and I'm the marketing, sales, and social media assistant here at Party Center Software. In this episode, we're going to share audio from our webinar on using data to discover business opportunities. We hope you enjoy this presentation.
First things first, what we're going to cover today is using data to discover business opportunities, customer information, and what and how we gather it, and then again, what to do with it once we have it. So, welcome. We are Party Center Software, powered by Party Center Pay. We're excited that you're with us today. We also are going to cover a little bit of information about in-house reservations, online booking, where we gather that data, and how we enhance that potential guest experience online. So we do online stores, digital liability waivers, facility management, and more. And you might have seen me. We are at all the trade shows, etc. What we do, we work with arcades, soft play, laser tag facilities, multiple attraction spaces, just to enhance that user experience. So first thing, point of sale, online waivers, gathering that data and populating your customer database information, online party booking, event management, as well as advanced reporting that we're going to cover a little bit today, some of the information you're going to be able to use in an instant, as well as that customer database, and then employee management, managing what they're doing internally. So next, on our side today, we've got three of our lovely ladies. We've got Rebecca Toomey, we've got Laura, who will be presenting to you today, and we've also got Courtney, who's my partner in crime here on our consultancy side. And then if you're part of our Party Center Software family, you already know Eileen, and you know Tanya, and you know Jesse. Because we're part of this webinar today, feel free to ask questions in our chat down below. We're probably going to focus a little bit into the end of the demonstration so we can cover those in detail while we're walking through here. So don't worry about just saving them up there, get them in there. We're going to be pretty vocal with some polls in here so you can share a lot of the data, what you're doing currently and how we can help you enhance that. But then the next step is Miss Laura.
Thank you so much, Megan. Happy birthday, guys. Please say happy birthday in the chat for Megan.
Thanks.
It's Megan's birthday today, so we're celebrating. Okay, let me just hook this up here. So thank you guys so much for coming on today. I am the marketing manager at Party Center Software, and a lot of what I do is collecting and analyzing marketing data. So that's why today I would want to share with you guys why collecting data is important, how you can collect data, and what you can do with that data to fuel your marketing activities. So I'll go over some of the ways that we do this here at PCS, and I hope that these ideas and thoughts inspire you. If you have any questions at all, you have my contact information here. Please feel free to reach out to me or to a customer success manager for more details on this stuff. Before we jump into it, I do want to remind everybody to take some notes during this presentation. There will be quite a lot of info, so I want to make sure that you write down at least 3 things that stood out to you. Maybe they're an idea, maybe they're a tip, and at the end of the presentation, I'm probably going to quiz you and ask you, what were those 3 things? So make sure that you keep that in your mind or write it down and be prepared to share that with us at the end. So I'm just going to go over the agenda here. We're first going to start with why. So why should you collect data? How to collect data and what to do with the data that you collect. We'll also go over a few pieces of data from our 2020 online booking study to get you started on this journey. And then lastly, we'll recap what we learned, because like I said, there will be quite a lot of information. So Megan, let's start with the first poll. Why is collecting data important? I want to hear all of your thoughts. There's a few reasons that are going to pop up here. It helps you drive repeat business. It helps you market to new customers. it helps you with communication, or all of the above. So let's hear your thoughts on this one.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Got about 6 people in there, about 45%. Come on, team. Why is collecting data important? Why is one of the biggest questions out there, right? Right? Just ask Simon Sinek in our book club.
Yeah.
So we've got almost about 80%. Thanks, team. Maybe about 10 more seconds in here. Let me know if you guys have questions through there. Why is collecting data important? I'm going to end that. 5, 4, 3, 2. Bingo.
Nice. Okay, all right. So you guys are smart. You're catching on to me. So so for those of you that answered all of the above, you were right, and I'm going to just get into all of those reasons. So for starting off, all right, there we go, it's working. It helps you drive repeat business. So how will your customers find out that you added that new attraction that improved your facility, or that you have a weekly special going on? Well, if you have their information, you'll know how to reach them, right? This might be through a weekly email, for example, and separate from getting their contact information, you can also collect other specific details like their birthday month or their dependent's birthday month. And this will just help you tailor that marketing that will result in a lot of great things for your business. Next, it will help you market to new customers. So who's coming to your facility? What's your target demographic? Are they local? If you have this data, you'll know exactly how to reach your customers, and perhaps it would make sense for you to invest more time into a certain social media platform, or maybe you should join a specific group, a community group, and that's, where a lot of your customers are coming from. This data will help you figure out where you should pull your focus. And if you're interested in learning more about target demographics, be sure to check out last month's webinar. We did it with Creative Works, our awesome partner, and they went over a lot of great details on that. And lastly, improve communication. Well, this folds into both of the reasons above. How do your customers find or get more info about your facility? Is it through Facebook or another platform? How can you reach those customers? Data allows you to understand where your customers are and enables you to meet them where they are. So we acquainted ourselves with the why, but what about the how? How can I collect good data? Well, first of all, I want you to think about all of your touch points. How and where do you interact with your customer? You obviously do so in person, right? But you also connect with them digitally when they go onto your website or onto your social profile. So in order to collect good data, you have to be where your customers are. So we're going to dive deeper into this how and also sort of the where. In addition to that, what can I do with the data that I collect? So we're going to give you some actionable ideas on what you can do with this data. And in the next section, I'm going to go over the 5 ways you can collect data, and we will also talk about what you can do with that. So starting off, Google Analytics. It can feel a little intimidating at first, but it's a great tool that allows you to track your customer's journey throughout your website. It might be worthwhile for you to take some analytics courses. We actually have, there's a lot of free courses out there, and Google itself has that on a website that we will share with you in the follow-up email, as well as if one of the team members could share that in the chat for you as well. So for now, though, I will give you a rundown of what you can do with Google Analytics and some of the things that you can track and measure. So let's get into it. A quick note, though, before we start, this data is pulled from our PCS dashboard, so it probably won't reflect the numbers that you'll see for your business. So just a heads up here, this is an example for just what you will see in general in your dashboard. So right off the bat, you'll see users, session, bounce rate. You can identify what pages get viewed the most often, if there are any trends, if there is a specific attraction that's more popular than another one. If you look at the right-hand side, you see active users, you see top active pages. So that's sort of what I'm referring to here. You can also figure out how many views does your booking page get? And out of those views, how many of them convert into booked parties? Which page leads them bouncing or leaving the site more often? How many people visit your site daily? And what events cause that to spike? Through this data, you might figure out that, hey, during a rainy day, I get a lot more visitors to my website. I should be running a rainy day special right about now. So there's just a ton of information that you can get about your website from your Google Analytics. What I really want to make sure that I stress starting out is that every site visitor you have has some sort of monetary value. So you can figure out what that value is by setting up goals in your Google Analytics, and I'll show you how to do that. So if you look at the left-hand side over here, you see goals highlighted right under conversions. That's where you will click in order to set up some new goals. So there are a lot of different goals, just a heads up. There's quite a lot of different things that you could do here. So I'll just run through these 4 main types. First, destination goals allow you to track the conversions of a particular action. So let's say a customer makes a purchase or a download or signs up for one of your forms. This results in the visitor arriving at a particular page, like an order confirmation page or a thank you page. And that's what a destination goal tracks. It tracks that action. A duration goal, on the other hand, measures the length of time in a particular session. So the length of time a visitor remains on a specific page on your site. The pages and screens per session is also the amount of pages they visit in a session. So let's say someone spends X amount of time on your website, but they go through a couple pages, that's what that tracks. And lastly, the event goal, it's a little bit more complicated because there are several variables that can be used depending on what you want to track. But an event is an action that happens independent of a page load. So you can't use a destination like a URL as a trigger. The event goal, the purpose of it is it's great if you want to track the amount of times a user interacts with a PDF or a blog post or a video and the type of interaction. So if they're downloading that video or sharing a post to social media, you can then go and add the numerical value that you'd like to hit. And if you want to add a revenue goal, as you see right here, you're going to have to work backwards. So heads up, a little bit of math. This is the formula. Let's say you generate 10 leads via a contact form on your website. Out of all of these leads, you manage to convert one of them into a $1,000 sale. If you divide the total of that $1,000 by 10 leads, this leaves you with $100. So you're obviously not receiving $100 per person, but you do know that you have a 10% close rate. So you can assign a $100 value for each lead coming through that contact form. Now, this method isn't the most reliable way to measure the value of your goals, but it's what we in marketing do to get the clues on where that revenue might be coming from. So that's what this nifty formula you're seeing up on the screen can help you do. So you have the total revenue generated divided by the number of leads. That will give you your lead value. You can also add a symbolic value. So this means that if you're struggling with calculating your goal value, you can start with a guesstimate of what each conversion is worth to you. And a few things I'd like to note related to that are, if you have multiple ways of people becoming a lead on your site, like a email sign up or a contact form, separate that data you have on your leads and calculate the goal values for each, because this keeps your data nice and clean so you can really see what's giving you that return. And be sure that when you're calculating revenue leads, when you're using this formula, you use data that's recent data, so from the past month or quarter, because that's going to give you the best sort of lead value that you can get. So what if, though, you don't have this data? Well, then you probably don't have enough customers just yet that are coming onto your site and are filling out information. So don't worry about developing your Google Analytics out just yet. Keep this in mind for something that you will start in the future. So over time, you will see a chart like this, and it will include data on goal completion, so how many folks went through that campaign that you set up, goal value, so what we mentioned before, goal conversion rate, so that is the number of goal completions divided by the number of visitors times 100, and so much more. Like, you can really track quite a lot here. Setting goals is just one piece of the puzzle, though, and your Google Analytics dashboard offers so much more information about everything from your top referral sources, as you can see right here on the screen, to popular devices used, to popular times of day customers visit your website. So there's just a wealth of information here. But what can I do with it, right? Laura, give me the practical tips. What can I do with this data? Well, first of all, you can improve your user experience on your website, meaning that sometimes poor traffic is really the result of poor website functionality. Maybe your customers don't really know where to find the information they're looking for. And if this is the case, you may want to redesign your website on easy platforms like Wix.com or Weebly. Maybe you need to add clear language or calls to action like book now, like right at the top of the page. Google Analytics will also reveal any mobile errors you may be experiencing. So it could be that this is an area you should work on improving. So make sure that you check what your website looks like everywhere. So on social media platforms, if you hit your website link, it opens inside of the app. See how it looks like on there. See how it looks like on different operating systems. See how it looks like on desktop versus mobile. The majority of folks are using their phones to look at your website. So we just want to make sure that we don't overlook this area. Next, it helps you maximize your referral channels. This is what you can do with the data you collect. So if you know that a lot of folks visit your website from organic search, you may want to focus on improving that search engine optimization. So your website ranks higher on Google and you get more visitors. This might mean starting a blog and writing for keywords or key phrases that your customers are already searching for. If a lot are coming from Facebook, though, then you'll probably want to focus on posting consistency, at least boosting that up to posting twice a day, or targeting specific customers with tailored ads, which we'll get into in a little bit. Lastly, we also recommend that you use your Google Analytics in conjunction with your Google Tag Manager. So Google Analytics is great, but it does have certain limitations. So when you couple it with your Google Tag Manager, you're actually able to collect a lot more data on your website visitors' behavior that will help you further tailor those marketing efforts. For those of you that don't know, tags are basically snippets of code that get added to your website to collect more information. So if you're a PCS customer, your customer success manager can actually help you add that Google Tag Manager to your online booking module so you can track the behavior on your booking page, which is super cool and super helpful. So if this is something that you're looking to do, contact us. We are here to help. Okay, so I think we're ready for another poll, Megan. Are any of you using forms or waivers to collect customer data? A poll will go up here shortly, so let us know. We're definitely interested in learning more. I see a lot of yeses, so that's good news.
Waivers are not just used for liability anymore. I do feel like, especially some people are even adding the COVID world in there, but what's nice is that the information that a waiver can gather is again, pure gold. I know you're going to go into that. Looks like we've got about 60% up there. If you're currently using waivers to collect data, just let us know, yay or nay on there. Phenomenal. I'll give you guys about 5 more seconds. Eileen, do you have a what do you
I
think, Guy?
did. Yes, I was just going to say, Megan, you're absolutely right. Getting different data, for the waivers it is very easy. If you're a Party Center software customer, we can definitely show you how to, get all that different data when you put your waiver in there to begin with. So whatever you choose, we can help you make it happen.
Show those results for you there, Laura.
Yeah, so I see the majority of you are, but there's a couple folks that are not. So those couple folks that are not, I'm hoping that this section will convince you to do it. But that's great. Thank you so much. So forms allow you to capture great data, everything from your customer's name, phone number, email, birthday, and so on. And as the ladies mentioned, digital waivers don't just allow you to accelerate your check-in process and protect your business. They do a lot more too. So if you're a PCS customer, you can use your digital waivers to ask customers specific questions and collect their answers. You can also use them to collect email, addresses, phone numbers, and so much more. So I'm going to run through a few examples on how you can capture this data. And for folks that are already doing forms, you might actually find a lot of cool ideas in here too. So first, let's look at this form by Skate World. Shout out to Skate World for this awesome form. They have a pop-up on their homepage that leads you to this form that's promoting their birthday club. So visitors can fill out this form and receive a free admission pass. Isn't that an awesome idea? First, you see that it's asking for the name, email, phone number, birthday, kids' birthdays. So Skate World can use this info to then target those customers with birthday party packages, offerings, and so much more. Here's another example. Another form that folks tend to overlook is the fact that everyone wants to use your facility's Wi-Fi, right? So are you just handing out that password, leaving it open, or instead using that as an opportunity to collect data? So if we look at this, this is obviously Starbucks. As soon as someone wants to connect to their Wi-Fi, they first have to fill out all this information, right? So Starbucks will then export this information and email that customer with an offering or a special or something similar. Our partner Hound actually has a feature like this that can help provide a free Wi-Fi connection to your customers while also allowing you to collect that data. What's really cool about their feature is that you can use it to send customers bounce back promos, and it's just a great way to drive repeat business. I love Urban Air's form. This form is for their email, and it is all the way on the bottom, embedded on the bottom of the page. I love that it's huge. You can't miss it. You're probably going to sign up if you go to their homepage. And this just encourages visitors to sign up for offers, special offers, news, event updates. You probably receive a lot of emails from me. I love emails. It's a great way to connect with you. So I would really look into doing something like this on your website if it's not there already. Let's pivot to waivers. So we're using Kidtropolis's example here. First, I want to mention that they have a sign waiver button on the very top of their homepage. This is very cool. They actually have quite a few calls to action at the very top, and this is great. So you want to make sure that you lead your customers and prospective customers exactly where they want to go. Next, down below, take a look at their waiver. They're extremely specific. They're asking for name, address, zip code, birthday, and on the very bottom, they ask for dependents' names as well. You just don't see that here in my screenshot, but what can you do with that data? Why is that important? So it allows you to create better, more tailored email campaigns. If people sign up for your weekly offer, weekly special email, that's a given. But you can also track birthday months and send emails to people whose birthday is coming up as a reminder that they can host a party at your facility. You know, this might be a good opportunity to offer up a promo code and encourage them to do that. You can also promote your blog if you have one and boost traffic to your site. And it's just overall a great way to connect and get folks to where you want them to go on your website. All right, let's pivot to social media. This is number 3. So it shouldn't be a surprise that this is yet another great tool that allows you to capture the data that you want. Although there are a lot of different platforms that I could talk about, I do want to focus on Facebook because it's just a great place for FECs and event venues to start. And in a few short months, we'll actually develop a big resource on all the cool things you could do with Facebook. So stay tuned for that. But in the US, over 70% of users will use the site every day. And I know that's you and me included. The major reason, though, why we use Facebook is to keep in contact with our friends and family. And if you think about that for a second, that completely aligns with the sole purpose of your family entertainment center or event venue, right? We're there to have fun, to make memories, and so forth. So as a Facebook business page, you have access to Facebook Business Suite. And this is an example of what we see in our PCS dashboard. So Facebook allows you to collect data on likes, followers, demographics, age groups, and so much more. In your business suite, you can actually create a custom audience. And how you do this is you take your customer list that you have perhaps in your facility management software, and you can just upload it directly into Facebook, and Facebook will do its thing. It can run advertisements directed towards that audience. What's even cooler than that, though, is that Facebook knows so much about that custom audience that you created, their demographic, their location data, likes, dislikes, even median income. So you can actually create a lookalike audience and run ads at people who look like those who have already visited your FEC. This is really, really interesting. So if you have not explored this already, I would definitely do this. If you've ever felt like an ad was following you around, maybe you looked at a product and then all of a sudden you see it on Facebook, that's actually Facebook Pixel at work. And you can do this too for your facility. So you can add Facebook Pixel to your website, and it will track information about your visitors and then use that information to target them on Facebook and vice versa. So it will do both things. When someone visits your website and takes an action, for example, they buy something from your online store, the Facebook Pixel is triggered and reports this action back to Facebook. This way, you'll know when a customer took an action after seeing your Facebook ad. When more and more conversions happen on your website, Facebook actually gets better at delivering your ads to the people that are more likely to take an action. And that is, there's a fancy term for that. It's called conversion optimization. So as you see here, right in front of you, there's quite a lot that you can do in terms of setting goals for those ads. And this, whatever goal that you set, it will communicate that goal to Facebook Pixel. And with all these systems in place, you'll be able to reach that goal. So again, what can I do with this data that I get from Facebook? Well, you can create better ads. You can create more tailored ads that appeal to your target audience. So if you know that your target audience is on Facebook at a specific time, just as an example, you can schedule your ad to go up at that time. So that's just one great way to get them. You can also increase your website traffic by creating these ads that lead to your website. So you might create an ad that leads straight to your booking page or to your blog. So if you have this data on Facebook, you can figure out, what sort of ads your target audience loves the most and is willing to take an action because of. All right, time for another poll, you guys. Are you currently surveying your customers? And if so, how frequently do you survey your customers? We want to know. Let us know. Once a year, every quarter, once a month? I don't remember.
What kind of questions do you think are good to ask on a survey? Is it after a birthday party, or what do you suggest, Laura?
Oh, there's quite a few. I will get into them, but
Okay.
just right off the bat, definitely post birthday, you want to know if it lived up to their expectations, right? You want to know also just how the guest experience went in total. If they had a great time just as a walk-in visit and so forth. So there's so many different surveys that you can.
Yeah, and types of surveys
go.
too.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So it looks like we have about 40%. We got 8 people in there. Come on, just a couple more. I want to know what you guys do. Surveys are important. I would love to know what you guys do once we get in here. All right, we got one more in there. We got 9. Let's get to 10. Bingo. All right, let's run with 10. Thanks, team. Thanks. I appreciate it.
So it seems like we're tied between every quarter, once a month. I don't remember the last time that I did it. So again, I hope that this section convinces you guys to up your game a little bit, up your customer survey game. So we all know that customers are your best source of information. You should definitely consider capturing data through surveys because for one, customers want to feel heard and they want to help you make your facility great. It also allows you to build your relationship with them and grow your business. So remember, if all else, the person who really pays your salary is your customer. So we gotta make sure that we survey them so that they're nice and happy and enjoy their time at your facility. You can compile a customer loyalty report, which we'll get into. It's a PCS report that those of you who are customers have access to get the names and contacts of all the customers that are most loyal and are returning customers and ask them, what can I do to improve my facility? How can I make it better? We actually have a customer feedback survey template that you can check out for inspiration. I'll make sure that you get that in the follow-up email. So types of surveys. You can survey your customers on guest experience, which we already kind of went over. So you can ask them if they were greeted properly, if they got a tour of the facility, and so on and so forth. So this is a great general survey that you can send out at least once a quarter to gauge how your guest experience is. You can also do the post-birthday party survey, which we talked about as well. Ask them if they had fun, if everything went smoothly, if it really did live up to expectations. And lastly, you can get a little bit more creative and ask about popular attractions or food options, be they something that you already offer or not. This is data that you can then consider releasing on your website as a gated content offer for the entire industry to see. So if you make it more general and less specific to just your facility, this is a great way to establish yourself as a thought leader, and it will boost your traffic. So surveys are important for every industry. And we at PCS also value surveys in our industry. And an example of this is that we recently joined forces, as many of you might know, with a few industry partners, and we developed an 8-question survey for all of you because we wanted to collect data on whether or not you all were planning on attending in-person industry events or trade shows at any point this year. This would then help us as a business decide on where to focus, what should we plan on attending and where can we serve you best. So again, all this marketing, if you don't get anything else but this, it's the fact that if you focus on meeting your customers where they are, you are doing your due diligence in terms of marketing. So we made this into a giveaway campaign. So all of our partners pooled together and we were able to give out 10 Amazon gift cards to 10 giveaway respondents. And this is a great way also to boost submissions. So just for fun, I wanted to share a couple data points with you just so you can see what sort of data we managed to collect. So how likely are you to attend any in-person conference in the first half of 2021? So you can see most of you said that it kind of depends. I'm not yet comfortable with that, but let's see what happens. And if you look at the jump to the second half of the year, it's quite significant. So from the data collected, we were able to discover that the majority of our customers are very interested in attending in-person events during the second half of the year. And that interest between first half, second half jumped 39%. So that was a huge indicator for us to focus on in-person events later this year. We also found that 67% of total submissions indicated that they are interested in attending one or more virtual events. So that was very interesting. So what can I do with this data? Why are you showing me this data? Well, you guys, doing surveys is great. It's a great thing, but you have to do something with the information that you collect. So make sure that you listen to feedback and create a plan for how to improve afterwards. So for instance, if you are hearing a lot in your surveys that perhaps your cleanliness needs to improve, develop a plan on how you will improve that aspect of your business. You might have to retrain staff or add cleaning procedures list to your playbook, or even develop a cleaning schedule and post that somewhere up for your staff to see. So make sure that you really do internalize that feedback, take it in, and then create a plan to show your customers that you do value their opinion. And reason number 5, this is the last, well, not reason, but you guys know what I mean. The last way to collect data. Your facility management software, right? So this enables you to operate your facility, but let's not forget that it also allows you to collect great customer data. So if you're a Party Center software customer, you can pull a lot of different reports from your software that will help you identify new opportunities. So you can discover who are your most loyal guests, right? We talked about that before. What type of parties are most frequently booked? Who has an upcoming birthday? There's just so many things that you can learn just from the data that your system, your POS system, your online store, and all that, your entire facility management software collects. So let's get into some of the reports that we have. These are a few of our favorite, so I'll just quickly outline 3. So the first one is the Party Statistic Report, and this allows you to pull stats by year, month, week, and day. It also allows you to compare data from one year to another, and it provides an event, revenue, and average ticket graph. With this data, you'll get a better idea of the popularity and profitability of a given party option, and it lets you know what is working. So you'll know what sort of packages customers love and what to promote via email and other channels. Next is the Customer Detail Report. This report will deliver an overview of customer accounts at your facility. So it includes information about your guests as well as their dependents. You can check out customer birthday months. Remember, we talked about that before. Orders, last order date, and so much more. So with this data, you can effectively remarket and identify those target customers. And this report connects with the Customer Loyalty Report. So you can use the Customer Loyalty Report to figure out who your most loyal customers are. They are your VIPs, right, who are likely spreading the good word about your facility and will willingly write positive reviews or provide testimonials when asked. They can also give you great information on why they visit or spend money at your facility rather than another one, so you can upkeep and maximize all of those aspects. So if you guys would like to learn more about these reports, please be sure to contact your customer success manager. And speaking of which, I did want to open up the floor to Eileen, our incredible lead customer success manager, who's the queen of reports. And I just wanted to ask you if there's anything else that you wanted to add here and whatnot.
Well, thank you, Laura. That's sweet of you. Yeah, before I actually became a customer success manager, I used the software 7 years myself in 3 different facilities. So, but one of my favorite reports, and I don't know if anybody on the webinar uses it, but is the invoice balance report. Because what it does, if you're going to run a really cool contest with your party planners, it will tell you who reserved what party, and you can run a really good campaign, to have them see who can book the most parties. Plus, it also gives you all the parties, whether or not they've actually paid their deposit, how much they still owe you, did they tip, and it gives you your order number and your phone number, all this, and it can be exported to an Excel. So it's super cool, and it's a really just great report. But if, like Laura said, if anybody wants to talk reports or wants to talk about Google Analytics or just anything that Laura is talking about here, your customer success manager, Tanya, Jesse, myself, we are here to help you for sure.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Eileen. Yeah, and this can also help with preventing chargebacks, or at least knowing what's going on as well, right? I think.
Sorry. Yes, I was on mute. Yes, yeah, definitely. We are getting involved with helping you with chargebacks, and you can have an online booking policy put in place so that you can help fight the chargebacks. But any of these tips, if you're doing something manual on a daily basis, and you want a workaround, or you want a report, or you want something, we probably have something that we could help you with. So just give us a call. Let's sit down and chat. We want to hear about what's going on in your business.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again, Eileen. She's my backup, you guys. Okay, so if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, please raise your hand. Can't see you, but you could do it in the dark. I totally understand that I threw a lot of information and ideas your way. And again, that's why I hope that you took some notes. But listen, if you're not tracking all of this information and you're not really sure where to start, check out our 2020 online booking study. It's totally free, and this is an awesome resource we create every year based on current data from our software. So these are just industry averages on everything from average party booking revenue to parties booked by month of year, and so much more that will help you start making some of these business decisions that you need to make. So just for fun, I'm also going to share 3 pieces of data with you and some recommendations we have to help you get started. So average party booking revenue for 2020. Factoring in both the average revenue for online and in-house party bookings, 2020's average did appear to have taken a dive compared to the growth that you see from 2018 to 2019. However, this decrease is directly related to capacity limitations that we've all had to deal with due to COVID, where folks were having 10 to 50 person parties in 2019. Business owners like you had to pivot to servicing 5 or 8 or 10, depending on the area restrictions in place. Many of our customers also use their online booking module to pre-book guests as a group ahead of time, which is reflected in this average booking revenue as well. But this change emphasizes the importance of pivoting quickly and creating another revenue stream for your business. Although party packages are your bread and butter, having a plan B will ensure your long-term survival and growth, especially when in-person gatherings are limited. So you may want to consider beefing up your party packages. Since you can't have as many people at a party, you may want to add more add-ons like food, decorations, goodie bags, and so forth. This is also a really good time to update your party package pricing. You may want to increase the cost of parties by a certain percentage or just have bigger packages. So just from that bit of data, we have all these great ideas. Next is revenue generated from the online store by month of year. So Q1 of 2020 signaled that online store sales were growing compared to 2019. You can see that 2020 started off strong. But of course, Q2 had a significant impact on this momentum. And however, compared to other revenue generating features, our online store showed the largest percentage increase of 148% between Q3 and Q4 of 2020. And just for dramatic effect, I will repeat that again. So our online store showed the largest percentage increase of 148% between Q3 and Q4 of 2020, and that's largely due to the holiday season. While many business owners decided to shut things down completely, others did pivot quickly as soon as it became apparent that the online store could function as a stable source of revenue, especially when a lot of you had to close your doors for several months at a time. So many businesses began to sell take-home craft kits, merchandise of all sorts, gift certificates, holiday-themed products, and a lot more. And this led to a significant uptick in Q4. What else can you do with your online store, though? Well, you can get creative and look at our resource, the monthly events calendar, and I will make sure to include that into the follow-up email. Because, for instance, you may want to use that online store to sell Easter egg hunt tickets or goodie bags or trophies or redemption items. There's so much that you can do here. So this data just shows us that it's worthwhile investing into an online storefront for your business. And the last kind of bit of data I want to go over here is, as in previous years, Q1 was still a super critical period for FECs and event venues. Although pre-pandemic, it's important to consider that the data shows a huge increase from 2019 to 2020 in the number of customers booking parties and events at the start of the year. So it's safe to assume that moving forward, Q1 will remain an important time for you to in just party packages. As expected, though, the end of Q1 and all of Q2 show a significant drop-off, but the good news is that Q3 and Q4 show a steady increase, and really all, and this just signals that customers little.
Hey, Laura, sounds like we're losing you a little bit there. Maybe turn your camera off, Laura.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry. Maybe just turn your camera off and we'll start over.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm stopping video.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Okay, perfect. So let me just back up a little bit. More or less what I'm saying with this chart is that Q1 is still going to remain an important time for you to campaign and drive attention to your party packages. Of course, we see that drop off in Q2, but Q3 and Q4 do show a steady increase. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you all dropped off. So Q3 and Q4 do show a steady climb back up, and they do almost match up to 2019's numbers. So this signals that customers are ready to book parties again. I do want to, though, quickly just mention that January and February are artificially inflated due to the decrease in total events and the fact that they were only 2 months without any COVID restrictions. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that Q1 is just a very important time for all facilities, and Q4 does show that we're slowly climbing back up. So again, think about how you can push people to book when you hit a slower season. The summer is a slower season for us, so consider pivoting to outdoor events versus indoor events. For instance, maybe you can host an outdoor craft fair, a water balloon, or a water gun fight, an obstacle course, and so forth. So there's just so much that you can do with this monthly information. So if all of you would like to look at the rest of the data, there is quite a lot, and I only pulled out 3 main pieces. Be sure to download this study, and in just a few days, we'll actually send you an email about our latest resource for March, which will be all about building a better marketing plan. So, how to improve your website branding, how to create content, and so much more. And we're going to share a lot of our secrets and detailed information. So, I really do hope that you download both this online booking study and our upcoming resource. So, I said a lot here. Let's just take a moment to recap what we learned. So, how can I collect data? Well, first we have Google Analytics. Consider getting Google Analytics, hooking up your website to Google Analytics, as well as getting Google Tag Manager. Forms and waivers, let's not forget this portion. This is super important. Social media, so utilize social media as a place to collect more data on your target demographic. Customer surveys, customers really want to be heard, so let's get that information from them to improve our business. And lastly, your facility management software. There's so much great data in there that we can look at. And lastly, what do I do with the data I collect? Well, use it to update and improve your website. There's so much in Google Analytics that can help you do this. Create better email campaigns to get those customers to come back to your facility and also engage with new customers. Create tailored ads, so target those lookalike customers that we talked about before. And create a plan to address feedback. So make sure that your customers know that you take their feedback seriously by putting it in action. So thank you all so much for giving me the time of day. I really hope that this information added value. We just really care about helping you be successful and recover post-COVID. And by collecting great data, you can really do that, and you can truly build your business back up. So I know that marketing can sometimes feel a little vague or fluffy, but this is a way to just really make sure that you are getting that return, that you're optimizing everything, and that you know how and where to reach your customers. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome, Laura. Thank you. We did have a couple of questions. I know that we said maybe hold a couple of them till the end here. Now we're ready to dive into some of them. So first one, Laura, it's about Facebook Pixels. So a few, dive in deep here. When would you suggest using Facebook Pixels, like to do that retargeting?
I would definitely suggest that you get it as soon as possible. Like when you have a Facebook business page, definitely look into getting it. You can contact our customer success managers to put that together for you. With something like that, it's never too late or too early. You can start really at any point collecting that data. I hope that answers the question.
Right. I also think it means when do you suggest using them? Not necessarily, yes, now time is of the essence. But I mean, like if they click on your website and they go to your birthday party page, do you recommend doing it at that time, using that pixel to retarget and say, hey, you didn't book your birthday party, having trouble? Click here and you can save 10% or whatever. Is that the type of when
Absolutely.
you suggest using it? What else do you say? After parties, what else?
I think definitely after parties. I think, you have to have it on your hooked up to your booking page and collecting that data, and then come up with the right advertisements associated with that. I would say those are the main parts or main times to sort of think about it. I would also say too, in our booking study, we have a lot of data on who's booking parties and when are they booking. So I would definitely refer to that resource and see what is the popular time, because if you know that mom is on her lunch break and she wants to book a party for her kids at that time, that might be a great time to just have that ad conveniently pop up
Right.
on her news feed. So I would say that Facebook and especially Google Analytics will help you determine the times at which your customers are most active, and then you can sort of go from there. But I would definitely look into the study as well for some averages and whatnot.
Okay, more pixel questions. How much does it cost? Is it a free service that Facebook offers, or how do you do that?
I would have to get back to that person about that. I believe it's a free service. I don't work with Pixel directly. I just know kind of an overview of how to use it. So I do have to be honest there and say I can't answer that question, but I can answer that question at a later time.
Well, analytics are free, right? Tracking those
Yeah.
Google Analytics.
Yeah,
That's
analytics are free. Mhm.
I can jump in on that one. Using a pixel itself isn't going to cost anything. If you run ads, that's obviously going to cost whatever amount you input into your system, but actually tracking it using a pixel, completely free.
So we did have one question. Maybe we can dive deeper into this. I'm not quite sure. It says, what if your sales, I think it was in reference to pixels. What if your sales happen on a third-party site? Does it have to be a sale that triggers a pixel? I think, isn't it also just analytics as well? So the question was, what if your sales happen on a third-party site? So not on Facebook. Like, how does it's from the tag managers, correct?
I would have to see that person, like what third party site is on there, because
Yeah, I'm curious. Are they talking, maybe they're referring to Groupon or Living Social or something like that?
Maybe, Amanda, if you want to chime in and go through maybe the chat, I'm not quite sure. Oh, she uses Merrick. So they're her bowling software. So I'm sure that Merrick, from your website, do you track Google Analytics on your website now, Amanda? She does. So does that help at all, Laura and Rebecca, learning a little bit more about how she can trigger a pixel, even if it's through a bowling software?
It sounds like it's the same as it would work inside of Party Center software.
Mhm.
You know, you're just using it, you're inputting it on the page where you book parties, you're putting that Facebook pixel on that page, and it should track just the same as it would the way that we usually typically do it.
Mhm.
So awesome.
It is
such a cool.
definitely look into pixels, Amanda.
Yeah. It's almost scary. Like you go shopping for a pair of shoes and all of a sudden on Facebook, there's that pair of shoes, right?
Yes.
It's amazing to me. But you see whether or not they're sponsored or not. And those sponsored ads are the ones that actually are going to cost money, right, Rebecca? Yeah. Okay. Right. And Laura, when do you suggest running Facebook ads? Not when, meaning the time of day. Do you suggest running those ads? I know we have suggested how to do it, but when you start thinking about here's March, here's all your March birthdays, do you recommend sending out ads for that, or when do you focus on ads, if that's the right thing to say?
I think that you hit it right on the head with that recommendation. I would probably back up a little bit and just create a sort of calendar for, we have our monthly events calendar that can help sort of figure out what opportunities you might be able to tap into depending on time of year and so forth. So I'd definitely refer to that resource. And then think about it for your own business. So what is going on? What are sort of specials that you tend to run every quarter, every month, or once a year and so forth, and develop a detailed calendar that will help you figure out when is the right time to target folks. As we kind of went over in our 2020 online booking study, top of the year is super important. It's going to continue to be important, and of course the holiday season at the end of the year. So those are just, 2 times I can tell you right off the bat. But let's not forget about the summer. That's our slower season. There's so much that we can do at that point too. So let's think about how we can maximize and perhaps even pivot to outdoor activities and market those.
Awesome. I know Rebecca just shared some information in the chat there, everybody, if you want to learn a little bit more about Facebook Pixels. But I know throughout this entire webinar that Laura's graced us with her knowledge. There is information about waivers, information about our online booking study, information about that calendar that she was talking about for you to suggest different parties, different events, things that you can offer at specific times. So don't hesitate. If you guys have any questions on how this works inside Party Center software, or even just ask more questions about it directly, it doesn't have to be related to PCS. We're here to help. We love learning about your business. And if we can help you, just like Eileen said, in any way, what we want to do is move this industry forward and keep on trucking and getting this thing back to what we remember, having fun, getting people inside of our facilities, and then getting them back in here. So any questions, any more questions in there? Anybody want to chime in? I know we've got a lot of really great stuff. It was a little overwhelming. Maybe the questions will come up as soon as we hang up, which is totally fine. So if you guys wanted to send us a quick email, we can go through that. All of our information is available directly off of the partycentersoftware.com website, or you can email us. We're all our first name at partycentersoftware.com. So thanks, everybody. Super excited to have you. Yes, it is my birthday. I'm going to go eat cake. Let's throw it out there, everybody. All right, team. Thanks so much.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have any feedback or have any topics you'd like to discuss, please be sure to email marketing@partycentersoftware.com. This podcast is a weekly podcast, so you can expect new episodes every Thursday. Party Center Speaks is powered by Party Center Software. We are a facility management tool that helps family entertainment centers and event venues book more parties and manage their facilities. We also offer marketing services such as custom website design and marketing automations to help you expand your reach and grow traffic. If you'd like to know more about us, head over to partycentersoftware.com and be sure to give us a follow at Party Center Software on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and at Party Center Soft on Twitter. Until next time, thanks for listening.